My husband was a doctor for 37 years. Told every patient in Tawney County to stop eating eggs, stop eating red meat, stop cooking with animal fat. He died at 61. Heart attack. Right there in his office, between the filing cabinet and the window. I'm 101 years old, and I'm still eating the same 4 foods he spent our entire marriage begging me to quit. Last year, I found something in his desk that changed everything I thought I knew about that man. My name is Odessa. I cooked school lunches at Forsyth Elementary for 38 years. 214 kids a day. I know what food does to a body because I watched it happen. The years they made me switch to low-fat milk and margarine and chicken nuggets from a freezer box, those kids got softer, got slower, got sick more often. I told the principal. He told me to follow the guidelines. Leonard agreed with the guidelines. He was the county health officer, had his name on the door, had diplomas on the wall, had pharmaceutical reps buying him lunch 3 times a week. And every single night, he'd come home, sit at this table, look at what I was cooking, and say the same thing. Dessa, you're going to kill yourself with that grease. Every night. 37 years. Same sentence, same tone. Like he was writing a prescription for a woman who wouldn't listen. But I didn't stop. Because everything I cooked came from my grandmother, Hattie Pruitt, who lived to 97 years old on a farm outside of Ava, Missouri, without ever once seeing a doctor. And her mother before her made it to 91. And her mother before that. I don't know exactly, but they say she was past 80 when she went. And that was in the 1880s, when people died from splinters. 4 foods. Grandma Hattie taught me when I was 11 years old, standing on a stool in her kitchen so I could reach the stove. She put her hand over mine on the handle and said, "You learn these 4 things and your body won't ever quit on you." First, 3 eggs every morning, fried in bacon grease in a cast iron skillet. Not butter, not oil, bacon grease. The stuff Leonard called liquid heart attack. That skillet was Grandma Hattie's. She gave it to me the summer before she died, 1974. It's on that stove right now, 62 years of seasoning. You could fry an egg on it and it would slide off like it was on ice. Leonard hated that skillet. Every time he saw it on the burner, he'd shake his head. He wanted me to use those non-stick pans with the chemical coating, the ones they had to recall 20 years later because the coating was giving people cancer. I kept my skillet. The egg is a perfect thing. Everything an animal needs to start a life is inside that shell. Choline for your brain, lutein for your eyes, B12 for your blood, fat that actually feeds your cells instead of starving them. They spent 50 years telling you the yolk was poison. 50 years. Then one day, real quiet, they changed their mind. No apology, no front page correction, just a footnote in some journal nobody reads. Meanwhile, a whole generation threw away the best part of the egg, like buying a house and burning down the kitchen. Second, beef liver. One slice every day, pan-fried in that same skillet. This is the one that makes people twist their face up. They say it tastes like iron. They say organs are gross. Your great-grandmother would slap you for saying that. Liver is what they gave soldiers. It's what they gave pregnant women. It's what they gave anyone who was weak or recovering. More vitamin A than anything on earth. More B12 than a bottle of pills. More iron than a pound of spinach. $2 a pound. But nobody wants it because it doesn't come in a pretty package with a celebrity on the label. Leonard never touched liver, said it concentrated toxins. I said, Leonard, your body has a liver. Does that mean you're toxic? He put his fork down and changed the subject. Third, bone broth. I keep a pot on this stove. Always. Beef bones, a little vinegar, water, salt. Simmers all day. I drink a cup in the morning, a cup at night. My joints don't ache. My stomach is calm. My skin. People ask me what cream I use. I tell them bone broth. They think I'm joking. Your bones are made of collagen. Your gut is made of collagen. Your skin is made of collagen. You drink something made from bones, and your body takes it back like a lost wallet. It's not complicated. People just made it complicated so they could sell you pills. Fourth, sauerkraut. Grandma Hattie's recipe. Cabbage and salt. That's it. She'd pack it into a crock jar and let it sit for 3 weeks. The bacteria did the rest. She called it living food. She didn't know the science. She just knew that every person in her family who ate it every day had a calm stomach and a clear mind. Leonard called it folk nonsense, said there was no evidence that fermented food did anything useful. That was 1983. Now they've got whole departments at universities studying the gut microbiome, spending millions to prove what my grandmother knew standing in her kitchen in bare feet. 4 foods every day: eggs, liver, bone broth, sauerkraut. Leonard followed the food pyramid: whole grains, low-fat dairy, lean chicken breast, margarine instead of butter, skim milk instead of whole. He exercised 3 mornings a week. He took his multivitamin. He did everything the guidelines said. He died on February 14th, 2003. Valentine's Day. I'd made him breakfast that morning. His breakfast, not mine. Oatmeal with skim milk and a glass of orange juice. He kissed me on the forehead, picked up his briefcase, drove to the office. By 11 o'clock, he was on the floor. Massive myocardial infarction. 90% blockage. 61 years old. The man who told this entire county how to eat couldn't keep his own heart running. I sat in this kitchen that night. Same table, same chair. That cast iron skillet was still on the stove from my breakfast. 3 eggs, bacon grease. I looked at it for a long time. I didn't touch his office. not for 19 years. His diplomas stayed on the wall. His stethoscope stayed on the coat hook. His desk stayed exactly how he left it. Briefcase open, pen on the notepad. I'd walk past that door every day and keep walking. Then in 2022, my granddaughter Shelley was helping me clean out the back room. She pulled open the bottom desk drawer. It was full of yellow legal pads, Leonard's handwriting, dates going back to 1988. I thought they were patient notes. They weren't. Page after page. Questions, doubts, things he couldn't say out loud because his entire career was built on saying the opposite. Check Mrs. Farley's blood work today. Eggs and bacon every morning for 40 years. Her cholesterol profile is better than mine. Dessa's labs came back. LDL is high, but her triglycerides are the lowest I've ever seen in a patient her age. I don't understand this. Read a paper out of Denmark today. Saturated fat may not cause heart disease. If this is true, what have I been telling people for 25 years? 3 more patients on statins reporting muscle pain and memory loss. I put them on those drugs. I did that. Dessa made liver tonight. I told her it was unhealthy. Then I came in here and looked it up. She might be right about the liver. Page after page, year after year. A man arguing with himself in a drawer that nobody opened. And then the last entry, January 19th, 2003, 26 days before he died. I asked Dessa to make me eggs this morning, fried in the skillet. She looked at me like I'd lost my mind. I ate the whole plate. First time in 30 years I've eaten a real egg. It tasted like my mother's kitchen. I don't know why I waited this long. I remember that morning. I remember his face. I thought he was just tired of oatmeal. I thought he was being sweet. I made him 3 eggs in Grandma Hattie's skillet. He ate them slow, didn't say a word, just ate and looked out the window. 26 days later, he was gone. He spent 37 years telling people to eat one way. He spent his private hours writing down that he might be wrong. And in the last month of his life, he sat at this table and ate my eggs like a man who finally stopped arguing with himself. I'm 101 years old. That cast iron skillet is on the stove. Same skillet, same bacon grease. I still fry 3 eggs every morning. I still eat my liver. I still drink my broth. I still eat my sauerkraut. Same 4 foods. Same kitchen. Same table where Leonard sat that last morning and asked for eggs without explaining why. I keep those yellow legal pads in the bottom drawer, right where he left them. Some mornings I open one and read a page. His handwriting was terrible. Doctors, you know how they write. If there's something you know is true, something you can feel in your bones, something your grandmother taught you, something that kept your people alive for generations, don't let anybody with a diploma talk you out of it. Not even someone you love. not even someone who loves you. Leonard loved me, I know that. He just couldn't say out loud what he was writing in that drawer. Because saying it would have meant that everything he built his life on was wrong. If somebody in your life keeps telling you you're wrong about something you know is right, write it down. Just write, "I kept," and then the truth. That is all I got.